Hey, this is Dan,
Bob,
and Dr. Aggro
from GigaBoots.com, and welcome to GigaBoots Podcast Episode 26. GigaBoots returns.
Man, we have 26 of these? Jeez.
26, and we finally got a professional sounding mic. You're welcome. Because we could not write this off on the website. I don't think at any point we were going to go, GigaBoots needs $500 worth of mic, right?
Right?
Totally. That's what we need. I guess we'll start this off with the new trend of, hey guys, what you playing? Aggro?
Guild Wars 2. A lot of Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, you just got done with that 28-hour LAN or whatever.
Yeah,
how did that go?
Roughly 2 days. Good. I got about 6 levels. Did a lot of, we did dub v dub, and we took that center castle for like 30 minutes before the rest of the team finished getting unkicked from the server. And they came back and totally pushed our shit in.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, got in, claimed the center castle for our tiny guild, and then got the fuck out.
That sounds like you had a delightful time.
It was wonderful.
What are you playing, Bob?
I am playing Way of Samurai 4.
Now that is a PlayStation Network game.
Yes, it is.
And
PlayStation
it's
Network,
40
a downloadable title for $40.
Which is a much better deal than did 3 come out for 50 or 60?
I think it was 60.
And
it might have been 50.
$40, I'd prefer that, with the downloadable, brought over by Xseed. So there's no voice cast. Was there voice? I don't think any of them.
There was a voice cast for 3. Yeah, they got
3?
Yeah, they got English voice dub and everything, and that ended up being like the worst Way of Samurai ever.
But that's,
yeah.
Apparently, in your opinion, and some people out there are crazy enough to think it's better than...
Some people think that was amazing and a huge step forward, and this one's a step backwards, but GameFAQs is weird. Okay?
Much like rocket skateboards are the pinnacle of Little Big Planet, some people believe that Way of the Samurai 3 is the pinnacle of Way of the Samurai-ing.
Right.
Can I skip what I'm playing?
No, what are you playing?
No, you can't.
I am playing Project Diva F with Miku Hatsune for the Vita because I hooked my Vita up to the Japanese store. I'm also playing other games.
Sure
like
you are.
Assault Gunner.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a demo of Dokuro, which is a completely English demo, and we don't, for whatever reason. Dokuro is a platformer. We should be doing a quick play of that in the next day or two.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the hell is with Sony Computer Entertainment in America. I guess the PS1 titles took precedence, and even then they didn't even do that.
Yeah, they didn't even do that right.
100%. So that's what I am playing. I suppose that's it. I don't think there's anything I missed. So I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the news segment, and then the roundtable is actually going to be on our last news story. So you'll have to stick around through the news segment to figure out what the roundtable's on. Even though I may have to list this with that information on certain websites that you find this podcast on. Stick around. Hey, and welcome to the news roundup. First bit of news here. Apparently, Final Fantasy is getting an Ultimate compilation in Japan for $450, and it has every Final Fantasy.
That sounds like such a deal.
It even has every expansion to 11.
No.
It has the PS1 versions of 1 and 2 and the other ones, because apparently printing cartridges would be stupid for $450. Clearly, that's too good of a deal for $450.
Does it have that weird version of 4 we had? The super easy one?
Oh, Mystic Quest.
The PSP one? No. He's talking about 4. He's talking about the PSP port of 4, which is stupid easy.
Oh.
Yeah, Mystic Quest has nothing to do with... Apparently, though, Mystic Quest, they took assets from one of the Legends games and made Mystic Quest by recoloring it, which makes a lot of sense because it does have a lot of the same style. I didn't know that until pretty recently, but no, it doesn't... Let me see if it has the full list here, but it's just...
I hear it has some artwork with it, too.
Yeah, it has things.
It's a Final Fantasy collection.
Right. It's going to include previously unseen artwork. And it has 4 encyclopedia-like books called Ultimania.
How is a book encyclopedia-like?
I don't...
It has a commemorative DVD, an art collection, which we just spoke of, a 2-disc soundtrack. 2-disc.
2-disc soundtrack.
What's that, the battle theme from every
Fantasy
game? Good job, you got every battle
theme. 4-disc set from 9.
Yeah.
Like, no, that was just Final Fantasy 9.
Oh, God. Is that where that went?
Yeah.
I've been looking for my game for years.
Clearly in your Volkswagen Beetle music CD binder thing. Wow. But yeah, $450.
That's insane.
That's not a good deal.
People will do it though, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. Just to be like, I have that.
Yeah,
I'm
if
sure
it's in a cool box, if it's a nice set, yeah, $40 to $50 for every Final Fantasy. Put that shit on your mantle, and then take it down and play some Final Fantasy.
And it has every installment up to 13, but no 13-2.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
No, 10-2 either, I
Yeah,
think.
is what it says here. Yeah, no 10-2.
Oh.
Good.
Oh my.
I guess that they don't acknowledge those as part of the Final Fantasy series.
No, just they aren't Sugoi enough.
Oh, is that it?
They aren't.
I thought the whole point of 10-2 was to be Sugoi.
It was to be something, all right. A questionable consumer of products, first and foremost. But moving on, before we discuss 10-2 more. They also announced very, very recently, Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. Have you heard anything about this, Aggro?
I've heard that it exists. Past that, it's really just been me making up kitschy movie sequel title jokes in my head. Like Lightning Strikes Twice, or like the son of the Revenge of Lightning.
Yeah. I think we should send you over there. You could probably come up with better titles.
Yeah.
Lightning Returns is kind of uninventive. Did she... I guess that is what the game's about.
Yeah, this is true. That is accurate.
Didn't we do that in 13-2?
No,
she's elsewhere in 13-2, and that's part of what that
elsewhere?
game's about.
Like
she's
with the
elsewhere.
Beast People?
No.
Well, there are beast people.
She's broing out with the blue meanies. No, she's just disposed of, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, you definitely don't play as her, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's just...
By the way, if you watch those production videos we're linking, be prepared for spoilers.
Yeah, we're going to link this on the site, and there are like several videos from the producer of Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13 too, or 13. I hate that name.
Yeah, why don't they have 3?
I'm just going to call it Returns because that's easier. We're going to link some production videos of Returns, and that's going to spoil 13 too if you haven't beaten it. Which is why I'm not checking out these videos, because I actually do intend to beat 13 and 13-2.
Someday.
Just every time I look at art in 13 on that TV.
Mm-hmm.
That piece of shit over there. We should start a fundraiser for that. Make it so GigaBoots...
Kickstarter. Buy us a TV.
So wait,
you guys aren't selling a product. Buy us a TV.
We're going to do 100 quick plays in the next month.
Whoa!
On this new TV. Time to mine the Japanese store for demos. But yeah, every time I look at a piece of art on that piece of shit TV, I just feel bad because it's such a pretty game. Like, I've seen it on much nicer screens.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to play Final Fantasy 13/13-2, you should only be playing it for Artborn, I believe.
Well, 13-2 is a little bit more gameplay oriented.
A little bit more gameplay sound.
Right.
It is designed more like a game, one might say. And I know this, but I can't get through 13 with...
Right, it wouldn't be good to start there.
No, that'd be terrible. So we're gonna move on. Well, actually, we haven't even described what Lightning Returns is like.
Right.
You get to move your character in the middle of battles. There's a lot more lightning interacting with the environment, like climbing up on top of things and stuff like that. There's a monorail system that goes between the 4 districts, areas.
They were really vague about how that was.
But the monorail system runs on a specific time, and this whole game is structured like Majora's Mask, where you have 13 days.
Yeah, 13 days.
13 days till the end of the game, and specific events happen all throughout the thing.
Kind of reminds me of Way of Samurai, only, the apocalypse doesn't usually happen at the end of
Way of Samurai. But except for Samurai.
Timer just seems like it'd be kind of tedious, like dawn of the 8th day. God damn it.
That does seem like a lot of days, so...
Hopefully it won't cut it into thirds like Majora's Mask did, where it was like evening of the 2nd day, dawn of the... Hopefully it'll just be like day 2. You'll look up in the sky, dumbass. That's
Wait
what
a
time
minute.
it is.
You have 13... This is a dating sim, isn't it?
No, you play as the girl.
Oh, wait, so it's a reverse harem dating sim.
There might not be guys.
Lightning returns to the dating world.
They did actually make notes of one, or maybe making a dating Final Fantasy game, but not this.
Yeah, they were talking about that. I saw that. I think that's about all we got to say here. We should
Yeah.
move along. Nothing to see here. Well, actually, there are several videos to see here, but nothing to hear here. So here. Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked is getting ported to the PlayStation Network this
Allow me
year.
a moment to contain my rapturous joy.
You're doing a great
Okay.
job there. Yeah,
Good.
good. That's about all I got to say about that. Just thought we should prepare people.
Did anyone like this game? I just have to check. Like, maybe reviewers loved it.
It was kind of fun when I played it for a very short bit. It just didn't have the nice the content I go to that series for. It was just a shooter multiplayer thing, you know?
It was a game, I guess.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I played it a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah, so moving on. Real quick note, and I have a link on the site. They actually did a post-mortem on GoldenEye 007. So go check that out. It's pretty cool. The original GoldenEye for the N64.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's nifty. I enjoy post-mortems, so maybe our fans do too. I mean, they seem to have a propensity for consuming content, which is people prattling on for extended periods of time with video. And sometimes not. There is a first look up on the Shadowrun game that succeeded on Kickstarter earlier this year for $1.8 million. They've got some concept art and character art up on Kotaku, so you can go check that out. We've got a link to that. I'm still really excited about this game, so I thought that was nifty. Just thought I would throw that out there. So now to the actual next piece of news. Kojima would really like to make a Metal Gear Rising sequel with Platinum Games. Good. I really want to see that continue as its own arc, as its own universe of the Metal Gear Solid series.
I wonder if he's still thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be before 5 and after 4, or if there's just this whole thing is completely insane and doesn't have anything to do with his timeline.
My theory is that 5 is never going to happen. If 5 is like Julius Belmont fighting Dracula, it's just, they're
Yeah.
going to keep putting games in the middle.
Yep. Probably.
Yeah,
That's terrible. Why do you have such sadly true theories? Your theories are true. Then they're not whatever. I don't know. Kojima keeps referring to this as a spin-off.
Well, yeah, it doesn't even
Rising.
have Solid in the title.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I think it is constructing its own.
But the weird thing is they said like explicitly this is set after 4.
Yeah.
That's what gets me about
I guess
that.
it's because they thought people would be confused and think this is the thing that Raiden went off and did. Somehow they would think that. Even though timeline-wise, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense technology-wise. Because Raiden was cutting edge when that happened.
Right.
Yeah. But, oh, well, that's... we're done with that piece of news. Now for the major news that is going to be the subject of our roundtable. Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, the best name ever, is announced. And it is coming to the PS3, and there's an 11-minute trailer of the game running on a high-end PC.
It's mostly videos of 9/11.
Yeah, it's a terrible game. It's a tragedy that Kojima decided to do this to us. It's very malicious. I guess he was so sensitive with 2, he had to reverse that and balance the karma. In any case, stick around for the roundtable where we discuss our feelings and thoughts.
We're just going to sit here and talk about our feelings.
Things have changed so much between the last time you heard us and now.
Yeah.
The round table is... I feel we're different people from the news roundup. Let's go ahead and
We've
discuss... Definitely grown as we talked about our feelings. Let's talk about Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, the trailer, 11 minutes of in-game footage, and then some slight gameplay at the end.
If I might suggest, we could. It is possible. We could not do that.
Yeah?
We could not talk about Metal Gear, and maybe Kojima will go away.
Yeah? Here's darn it, you jumped ahead several steps. Here's what I'm thinking. All the people who grew up thinking Metal Gear Solid 1 was amazing and the writing in 1 and 2 are so insanely good are now older. So the more often he comes out with Metal Gear Solid games now, the more often they'll start to notice this writing's terrible. So I think this may be the nail in the coffin for the majority of the fan base. Because, I mean, half of them, in fact, a good bit of the people who played the earlier Metal Gear Solids, at least 1 and 2, had 360s. So they didn't even have PS3s at that point. We were kind of the elitist Kojima club there when 4 came out. I was like, yeah, we got our Metal Gear Solids. I got my surround sound system I set up around me on my bed because I was living in that small room. And then somebody shot from behind and to the left of me, and I was lying down, and that sucked. Bang! But, yeah, in any case, the trailer. So, Burnty McBurntface walks around and stuff, and he's talking to the little kid who probably, maybe Chico,
Yeah, maybe
has
Chico.
this stereo plug hole in his chest.
Yeah.
Whole thing's in 1080p because it's based on the extremely high-end PC spec. Kind of wish they showed PS3 footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like anything indicative of what this game is going to look like.
Yeah,
Modern
because...
consoles.
Yeah. Or that they were like, it's coming out on PS4, or...
They don't want to talk about that exists yet.
Or even say it's definitely coming out on next gen, because currently they're saying we are probably going to target next gen. And I'm like, I really wish you had something more definite to say about this, because then I would just buy that version.
Right.
Because I'm retarded for hardware. I own a Vita. I didn't buy it because of a good reason.
The only reason that you're not buying Darksiders is clearly so you can buy Darksiders on the Wii U. Right?
Yeah.
That's next gen.
Yeah, I love the Wii U.
It looks amazing.
It's so bad. Like the Power Glove.
That shit is completely wizard.
If you combine the Power Glove with a tablet, I have no doubt it is the Wii U. The entire package.
Actually, I think it's that thing from Fallout.
Yeah.
You mean that
Okay.
thing from Predator or Fallout?
Can you kill yourself with a nuclear blast in Fallout?
I hope.
You just tactical nuked. Like, and this is where the game ends for me.
I'm done with this.
Fuck this fetch quest.
And that's why we need a Fallout MMO and not an Elder Scrolls MMO. God, that is such a bad idea.
Oh yeah, that just doesn't look. Oh.
Not only that, like the point we're at, we don't even have a market for subscription-based MMOs anymore. Like The Secret World, is that the name? Did I
Yeah.
get that right? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not doing well because it's a subscription. It's competing with WoW and the subscription-less Guild Wars, and the formerly,
Formerly.
Mully.
Formerly.
Okay, that's what I thought. In case the formerly subscription-based Sutor. It's a huge name.
Just call it Tor.
No. Because
Tor.
people called KOTOR Tor, and then they called
People should call
KOTOR Tor.
KOTOR because it's KOTOR. This is just Tor.
No, this is Sutor.
Or you're thinking of SWOTOR and it's just Tor.
SWOTOR, that's dumb.
Yes, it is.
That'd
which
be-
is why we call it Tor.
That would be
We
Star
talked about
Wars
this.
of the Old
In fact,
Republic.
we're still talking about this.
Now we're doing it on the internet.
What have you done?
I brought up all of our marital problems in a permanent format. Don't I see? I'm making an ass out of myself for all of eternity. But pulling back to the actual fucking topic.
Right.
Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes.
This is an MMO, right?
Totally.
Yeah, it's
Open
open world,
world, multiplayer,
MMO,
MMO.
subscription based. It's gonna bomb.
What are
Honestly,
they thinking?
I would play the shit out of a Metal Gear Solid MMO.
You know, I thought I would.
Just like daisying it up in the bush, just crawling inch by inch.
I thought I would too, but then I played Metal Gear Online, and that game was awful. Like the game was worse than Metal Gear Solid 3's online mode. It had way worse latency issues and everything. Like their
I think I
network
remember
code.
this game.
It came with Metal Gear Solid 4. It's no longer there. They patched it out.
Oh my.
They turned off the servers, so when this trophy
mean-
patch came up, they just removed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That whole game could have been saved by actually using the infrastructure set up by Sony instead of their own.
Well, that would have...
That super murdered it.
I don't think so, because I jumped through those hoops, and I got to play it, and I didn't really go back, because it has...
You have to jump through the hoops every time you want to play it. That's the absolute worst part.
I don't remember... Like, there's no remember me
No.
checkbox?
Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, the game itself was bad.
The game was not good at all, but
No, it really wasn't.
it was interesting.
And it was worse than 3's multiplayer. Like, the latency problems were so bad. And I'm like, why? This doesn't make any sense. This is next gen. This should be better than 3's multiplayer. Which, God, was 3... Now that I'm thinking about it, not just, like, how it ran and the latency stuff. Like, that was designed better. Because it wasn't... We're going to try to be Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Right.
I like 3's multiplayer.
Yeah, that was fun.
Especially getting my ass kicked and then being Lazarevich.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Lazarevich?
Yeah, totally.
You jumped into the future, grabbed an Uncharted 2 character, and went back?
Yeah. You didn't do that?
Damn, no. How'd you do it?
Well, it's easy. You just forget the name of that scientist from 3.
Oh, okay.
And just pull the first Eastern European name you can think of out of your ass.
Oh, yeah, Dolly Novodno. I played as him a lot.
Yeah. What was that guy's name?
We talking about...
Sokolov.
Okay.
Okay.
Shagorod's too big.
Man, LeVar, he would totally be awesome in Metal Gear
He
game.
would! He belongs in one. He just needs a badass scar. Like a really badass scar.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ground Zeroes, I don't... Like, it was a whole lot of... And yeah, I know, we're talking about Metal Gear Solid, but it was a whole lot of cutscene, and there really wasn't... I don't know. It's hard to describe. It was just a whole lot of talking, and people get on a vehicle and then drive away from some kid who started
basic
playing.
Kojima writing posturing.
Yeah.
He was just setting up his inanely internal tone.
But it was strange, because if you think back to the first trailer we saw of Metal Gear Solid 4, that was, like, you see that and you're like, holy shit, what the fuck, this tiny Metal Gear, oh my god. They're like, there's so many scales of, I mean, this really is more like 3's debut trailer, which was super vague, and look, here's snakes in a forest. Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it set up a couple of characters.
It makes sense to Kojima, because in 4, you had that trailer. It was all the action and the shit, and that's kind of how 4 ran. This one's going to be like all the story parts.
Well, here's the thing, though, right? 4 actually wasn't that. The initial trailer was Snake, like, sneaking up on a guy and killing him, and then sneaking around in the environment, them showing off the gameplay of the Octo camo, and some other things. So there was gameplay concepts in that trailer. The only one in this one was you can be seen by a spotlight.
Also, quarter-inch jack to the chest.
Yeah. That's gonna come in. Everyone's getting that. It was a fad in the 80s that we never knew about.
I can hear my own heartbeat. That's disturbing, kid. Here's a Walkman. You might want to wash that jack off.
Jesus Christ.
You jack off.
You may want to plug that up. You may get an infection. You may already have an infection. I mean, who put that in?
He was the first cyborg, okay? That's Raiden as a kid.
You know, I was thinking about that. I'm like, how old is Raiden at this point? And then I thought about it. I'm like, that's probably Snake or Chico. I don't know how Chico looks. I thought Chico was more brown and less Caucasian.
That kid in the cell could have been brown.
No, he was totes Caucasian.
I don't know.
Totes.
It was kind of dark.
I mean, we are asking the Japanese to tell the difference between
Caucasian and other races, and themselves even. So
not good at that.
They really aren't. Like, I love how the default, what was it? I was playing Ragnarok Odyssey because my Vita's now Sugoi, and the default is like super white. I'm like, huh. Because everyone in Japan just really wants to be white.
It's true.
And
that is how we won that war.
Oh.
We were white.
We made them want to be us because we dropped bombs.
Yeah.
That's
no minorities fought in World War II for our side. That didn't happen.
No?
It was just...
Well, if they did, they were in the plains, so that way they couldn't see. We don't need those minorities. We're that independent. Don't you wish you were that independent? No, nuke. Don't you wish you were that No, nuke. No, don't you wish? Yeah, whatever. I don't even know what you're going on about, but sure. Tasteful jokes.
Tasteful. Jesus.
Tasty jokes. Tasty. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't really show off a new type of gameplay. I just had the PR to go by where they said it was an open world Metal Gear, which I
mean, I think that open world's kind of what good Metal Gears were going for already.
Not
like 2 and 3 had Wind 1, you had the whole facility to explore, an open area to go around. It had connectors between them, but ideally, you wouldn't have to have those connectors. It would just be one large running area where you have to worry about getting away from guards.
I think one's the only one that actually establishes a pseudo open world environment because you can revisit older environments and you're open to several floors all at one time. 2 is hallways connected by hallways.
You can still do a lot of revisiting and such.
Yeah, but it's still more linear in the sense of here's this hallway. It's connected to that hallway at this point. Whereas 1 is, here are these giant floors. And then 3 is kind of like that, but since the game didn't actually have camera control, it was all unidirectional. For the most part, it was, here's this facility, and this is this part. And then conveniently, this forest is structured where the whole game's going to go into the background. So I will honestly argue that 1 is the most open world. And hopefully Ground Zeroes gets a bit more like, here's this giant facility.
Right.
Do stuff, and you can go over to other places and do things there, and that this doesn't turn into like I don't trust them honestly when they say open world. I really don't.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to see.
Yeah.
It sounds a little Molyneux-ish to me.
It sounds a
It's
bit.
like Snake can cut this tree, and that cut will be there forever.
It almost sounds worse than that. It's not that they're lying. It's the Japanese habit of saying these tech terms, but not actually. Yeah, which has happened a lot in Japanese PR, and that's what this is. Like, it wasn't in a trailer. It wasn't in, any form other than when they showed off the game first off in Japan. They were like, this is going to be an open world Metal Gear that's challenging the entire world. I'm like, okay, is this actually open world? And then the trailer didn't help that. It's...
Well, they did do the trailer in a way that was all one long running
one long
thing,
cut, yeah. So it is a huge facility. I don't think a huge facility... That's not the same as open world. Like, you and I had a discussion on this. When I hear open world, I think Skyrim, Oblivion, Grand Theft Auto. That is an open world. It is a huge, huge, huge area, and it is a world. It's not just, we have really big levels. Because that's termed, we have really big levels.
I don't know. I mean, if there's enough going on in that large facility, you could consider an open world, kind of like the Mercenary games. That's several bases connected.
Yeah, that's fucking massive.
Yeah.
So that's why that can start to go into that territory. I mean, that's my concern here. Like, that base was huge and cool. And I'm not saying that I'm disappointed by the concept of that being it. In fact, I'm of the belief that it's not open world that's good for us because it's a tighter knit gameplay. I'm just saying I don't think this is actually open world. I think it's just a big base in that you'll take some convoy or something else that'll pop up with a load screen and you'll go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Because,
Ideally, that's what we get.
But it's not open world.
Yeah, well, what?
I mean,
I guess the term open world is kind of vague.
It has the word world in it. It's not open base. So, the idea is it engenders the concept of a world that is constantly going because you have access to a stupid amount of it with absolutely bare minimum load screens. Like, Vice City had 3 in the entire game.
Right.
I'm thinking this is going to be more like, here's this giant base that's really detailed, and then you hop on a convoy and it loads. And then you have like 7, 8, maybe even 12 of those. Like, super detailed areas with, Which really, I don't know. Like, I'm okay with the Metal Gear Solid 2-ing and the Metal Gear Solid 3-ing. Mm-hmm. I like set pieces that I'll travel through that are tightly knit gameplay.
Right.
And it'd be nice to see something that actually pulls off inside and outside building style load screen.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be nice. Which, of course, this would, I don't think.
Yeah,
well, wait, no. 3 did do that.
Yeah, 3 did that.
And 4 did that every time you turned down a weird corner. It was like, oh, you crawled through this hole. Well, let's load the next area.
4 was the most
reinstalled since you went into the shop.
Yeah, 4 was the most load screen riddled. Actually, I don't know. Like, parts of 2 do that. There are a lot of bridges.
This is true, but
like, in fact,
I was saying it was the most chopped up experience-wise. Like, it's just, okay, you get to go around this area, and this area is like almost no choice it's like how you approach situations.
Oh, yeah, there's less variety in 4. 4 is the prettiest hallway I've ever traveled down. I think it's fair. Is that what you're...
I mean, I'm just happy to see him come back to the series and then tote something like open world. Like, if it had the concept of open world behind it at all, it has to be better, or turn out better than 4, I would think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So to you, a good Metal Gear Solid is determined by your ability to tackle a situation in a variety of methods?
Yeah, because
that's ideally what stealth and
that is
stealth
Yeah,
stealth
that's an interesting way
works.
to do it. I mean, I hear from a lot of people that 4 is a lot better if you just kind of try to do things every way that the game doesn't want you to. I mean, I remember, I believe you played the game the same way I did. You defeat your first frog, get a P90, and just win your whole way through the game.
Yeah, well, technically it's not with the first frog, because the way that game worked, it was like you needed to buy an ID-less gun from Draven. So it was more like Act 3, you get a P90, and then it's, fuck, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to sneak through the whole game, and that did make it more fun, but at the same time, it wasn't good sneaking environments, and having Octo Camo was kind of just felt like cheating.
Yeah, Octo Camo did kind of feel like you didn't have to try as hard at
And then you
hiding.
put the mask on all the time, so you don't even have a character you're playing
Like
as.
halfway
It's
through, I
just
figured
like-
maybe it was like some metaphor for how, you know, Snake's this super hardcore stealth badass and technology's progressed and it's changed the face of war. It's not really war anymore. It's not fair, even as a video game protagonist. You're just kind of too overpowered and fucking your way through everything, and it doesn't even make sense. And why am I even doing this? I'm like, oh god, Snake, I feel your confusion. I feel so old. How long have I been playing Metal Gear?
I guess you could look at it like that.
Man,
I felt the story was incomprehensible because Snake was getting old and didn't want to have to remember any of this shit anymore, so it just sounded like noise to him.
that is a very nice thought to go in with. It makes the game a lot better.
It does.
Because then you go, no, that bitch didn't say that Vamp was nanomachines. That would be fucking retarded.
Like I imagined every time you beat one of those black boss monster things, the gun
Beauty
guy
and the
came.
Beast?
Yes, the gun guy came up and gave the backstory. I figured Snake was napping. I figured he old guy nodded off. He set his sneaking suit to rigid and just sort of.
So, yeah, if we ever Let's Play, that is definitely... We will skip every single description of the Beauty and the Beast, because those were completely pointless to the rest of the game.
Yeah,
Serious.
like I liked them. I would have liked them not interrupting the game.
If they were integrated in the game at all,
Actually,
then
I think better than that, what would have been best, Third Birthday did this a lot. There is an area you can go in the game to read what is an encyclopedia of knowledge on this person within specific universes that are created throughout the story of Third Birthday. I would have preferred that. If it was just tucked away in some menu somewhere is their entire backstory. Yeah, sure, then I can sit down and read it and not have it read to me eloquently by this person who's going slow because he's being eloquent.
I'd eventually love games to start shipping with physical books.
Or even
And
ebooks.
if you want the extra information, go do the research your own lazy self.
That would actually be really neat.
Yeah.
And that sort of got in a discussion with someone recently about how the video game market imploded before, and it looks like it's really doing that again. Because of all the developers that are closing like crazy, and the publishers that are being eaten by larger publishers and merging with equally sized publishers. The last time this happened, video games survived it by getting ultra hardcore with those DOS games of this game is about simulating space and we're going to do it as best as we can, and you better be ready to deal with that.
Yeah.
I would love it if games started doing exactly what you're talking about, where it's like you get a free ebook or you get a free actual book with your $60, $40, $80 game. That is the encyclopedia. Oh, you tried to talk to the goblin, you stupid fuck. Did you not read the goblin entry?
Entire sections on goblin cultural and ecology. What the hell, man?
You were wearing what? You dumbass.
You can play the warrior and not have to read the book, or you can play the wizard and you goddamn need it.
And I think that's really cool, because that builds up a world bigger than the game itself when you do that. And AAA games have been less and less that and more hallways, and that's why I really don't get excited about so much anymore. But Lightning Returns, excited about. This Metal Gear, it sits somewhere in between of they said open world, and I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm gonna wait and see what the game's trying to do with its gameplay before I can get excited.
I still wish that Kojima would make a different game, like a new game, or go back to Zones Avengers or anything.
Or Boktai.
I'm terrified of
Not
letting
Boktai.
Kojima make it on
You
his
don't-
own of the enders.
You don't want him to go back to Boktai?
Maybe if he does it on consoles or something.
Wait, well, that's what I'm thinking.
Police Knots 4?
No.
No, yeah, I'm good with Police Knots. Fuck this guy.
I want a game, not a novel I could go buy.
You know, I'm honestly okay with novel games if I can read them, which is why I'm not okay with Japanese novel games. I'm not there yet.
Also because the police would like to know what this is doing on your hard drive.
I said novel games, not special novel games.
I think those are now typical novel games in Japan.
That's what the Time Traveler is about?
Oh yeah.
Wow, level
Level
5.
5 is not classic.
They just started making smut for no reason. You're so disappointing, level 5. I'm not even sure I'm going to play Ni no Kuni. So what are you guys sitting at? Are you guys caught up with the zeitgeisty fervor of, ooh, who's the protagonist? Ooh, why is there some... Like, if you notice the image that they put out when they announced the game, and then again when they came out with the trailer and showed it off at PAX, has a very brown-haired protagonist, even though the trailer blatantly shows a very ultra gray-haired Snake. Mm-hmm. Are you at all caught up in the, ooh, why is that, or anything?
No, because I know when he tells me, I'm either not going to notice that's what he's doing, or it's not going to make any sense. I just don't care anymore.
Wow. I don't blame you.
Killed Metal Gear in my head.
Dead?
Like, I loved the gameplay. I do. I don't give a shit what any of these people are talking about.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm not at all caring about this story. That's why I'm not like, oh, I need to storm off and play Portable Ops and Peace Walker now, because no matter what happens, no matter what time it's set in, it is somehow tied to a universe where eventually vampires are going to be nanomachine-ridden douchebags and everything connects to each other. Like, that's the largest problem. It's not even that Vamp's nanomachine-driven. It's that, oh, didn't you know? Paramedic for Metal Gear Solid 3 became the scientist that invented the nanomachines that made the Cyborg Ninja from 1 and Vamp.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Like,
my problem.
right up until all that end exposition, I'm like, oh, this is really pretentious and stupid. Oh, this is just awful.
This is lost.
My bad.
You wrote all of these coincidences because you're uncreative.
You know, I thought that he was doing all that just so he could wrap everything up and never have to touch Metal Gear again.
Even if that was the case, that's
That's what it seemed
unacceptable.
like. He got done. It was really more of a there. Can we stop talking about this now?
Because even if that was the case, it's still like finishing an ice cream cake and going, now for the icing, and taking a dump all over it. Either way, you shat on a perfectly good ice cream cake. Not cool, Kojima. Stop shitting on my cakes.
So honestly, this game really comes down to, like, Kojima's that friend you've got that you don't really like.
Yeah.
But, you know, you've known him forever, so when he's like, hey, I have this thing I want to tell you, you kind of have to listen. I mean, you can, like, be playing on your phone while you do, but I'm going to sit down and let him tell me this story. I'm just not going to listen very hard when he does it.
Who's that friend for you?
It's Kojima.
Oh, okay.
We tweet.
Bob, who's that friend for you?
What? Kojima.
I think I just made this room very awkward. We're about to drag up some.
I'm
some
it's
old
you, Dad.
blood.
It's me.
Yeah, totally.
Setsuboshita.
Yeah, I actually said, like, almost completely obvious to Kyle. I'm excited to play another one. That's about it.
But
I mean,
he's interested in the gameplay, but
I'm
like-
excited for the story because it's always, like, stupid. I enjoy it because it's so stupid. Okay?
See,
It's like,
here's
what?
the-
You invented dinosaurs? Yes. Tell me more.
I like that. See, contrived writing that's insane, okay?
No. See, I like that too. The problem was when it became lost and it had the overly convenient writing in 4. Like, I'm okay with the, holy shit, that man who can summon electricity from his bad acidness shot bullets straight from his hand and then powered a man tank. I'm okay with that. Sign me up for that again.
I loved every bit of writing in 1, 2, and 3. Just in 4, I realized, oh my god, he thinks he's brilliant. He's taking this completely seriously.
Yeah, so hopefully Ground Zero scales that back.
I mean, I think that Peace Walker and such has been good signs for scaling that back. This being legitimately, this is just zany.
I'm very self-aware now. I'm sorry.
It's entirely possible, though, that he was self-aware about it the whole time. I don't know if you remember. I called the ending of 4. Like, 2 hours in, I called the ending. That Ocelot was just fucking with us the whole time, and none of this was real.
Yeah, that's the worst part of 4 right there.
right.
And then right below that is how everyone is everyone else turns out.
You know what the best part of 4 was? Riding for no reason to be able to summon thunder.
That was badass.
It was.
And kind of Volgany.
But Bob, Raiden was lightning in that storm. And he was the one to fill Snake's Dark Soul with light!
Ning.
Returns.